President Trump has an ominous warning for Walmart. I'll be watching. The president raged at the world's largest retailer on Truth Social this weekend after Walmart announced it would be raising its prices in light of Trump's tariffs. Trump says Walmart should stop trying to blame tariffs as the reason for raising prices throughout the chain. Walmart made billions of dollars last year, far more than expected. He also added, between Walmart and China, they should, as is said, eat the tariffs and not charge valued customers anything. I'll be watching, and so will your customers.
Walmart Chief Financial Officer John David Rainey explained the change during an interview with CNBC. He says, quote, "We're wired for everyday low prices, but the magnitude of these increases is more than any retailer can absorb. It's more than any supplier can absorb. And mark your calendars, because he says these price hikes will take effect end of May to early June."
Social media users had split reactions about all of this. Author Juanita Broderick, a conservative influencer, said, "When Sam Walton died, so did all of Walmart's integrity."
Editor-in-chief of the Dispatch, Jonah Goldberg, writes, quote, "I'm old enough to remember, because I'm not a newborn infant, when Trump said tariffs were paid by other countries. How can Walmart eat tariffs when they're not already eaten by other countries? I thought that China was eating all these tariffs. What happened? I think the trade war is not working, and that's been very obvious by the complaints around the country, around the world. I think at a time when Americans are worried about costs, Trump is worried about who else he can blame besides himself. This is a risky policy decision that he made. He wants to try something really big to make a really big result where we're not relying on foreign nations. Bravo to the idea. The execution is trash. And we all are feeling the effects of unorganized execution. He's going and putting 145% tariffs and then backing down and calling that a win. You can't start the fire, put out the fire, and say, wow, what a hero. And I think that's the constant cycle that we're in as we play this game.
I mean, actually, I would say tariffs are working exactly the way tariffs work, which is by raising prices. Like, that's what has been incoherent about the administration's approach. They'll say that, you know, they'll put so many different justifications in place. What tariffs do is raise prices by design, because the point is to the reliance on foreign goods and services. They end up getting headquartered here instead, and so it makes it, you know, more expensive to import it so that you can do it here instead. So that's like the point of tariffs. Now, I think that's bad, because I think raising prices is bad. And I'm sorry, with all due respect to our dear President Donald Trump, when you're complaining about greedy corporations raising their prices, you're losing. That is a left, like Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders thing. Now, I might turn that back on you. Why is it wrong when Trump does it? Whenever, you know, left leaders are always like, greedy corporations, or they could eat the costs and they're just making things worse from you. Trump is, I mean, this is why my dear friend Batya Ungar-Sargon says Trump is actually a Marxist. She means it in a positive way. I mean it in a negative way.
Trump had conversations with all of these CEOs, Target, Walmart. They told him this was going to happen, and now he's surprised and scolding everybody that it's happening. We also know that the American public is going to feel this the most out of everyone. Yale, I know you might not be a huge fan of Yale, but Yale said that a study, their budget lab said the tariffs are going to cost $3,800 a person on average per year. Like and Trump keeps saying, okay, go through the hard time with me. We're going to come on the other side and be really successful. A lot of American jobs. This was never the time to execute this strategy when we have extremely high inflation and uncomfortable Americans, and you ran on bringing costs down immediately, first 100 days that we've already passed in office. This, even if you believe in the idea of depending less on foreign nations, was not a good idea at this time. This was a horrendous way. It was just horrendously executed. I think a lot of people are still feeling it. And to know that the average price of your everyday snacks, food items, iPhones, electronics is going to go up at Walmart, one of the cheapest stores in our country, in the next few days is devastating, I think.
Yeah, you can't be railing against people for raising prices. Government should work to bring down prices by getting government out of the way, is what I would argue, and that would be successful, and that would be to Trump's benefit. But just, you know, complaining about the obviously foreseeable impacts of an economic policy that a lot of people warned you not to do is not a good idea to me.
So we agree. Up next, why Republicans are rallying around Senator John Fetterman.